Order yet.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
I see there's two accounts here named
Yes.
Judy.
Yes, please ignore the one that's a wider shot of me. That's actually my husband watching as a part as audience. Because I'm using his laptop, so he had to just log on as me. So please just ignore that one.
Perfect. You're unmuted.
Is it not on?
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
good morning, colleagues. Good morning, parents. Good morning, teachers. Good morning, officials. Good morning, ambassadors. Good morning, learners. Good morning, teachers and parents. My name is Herman Sekwili. I am from the University of Johannesburg, Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment. I am managing. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, parents. Good morning, teachers. Good morning, officials. Good morning, ambassadors. Good morning, learners. Good morning. My name is Herman Sekwili. Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment. Is it not the mic at this one? Yeah, okay. Which one was I switch off? Spring no, must I switch off this one? Speak better.
Yeah, this is going to pick you up. So you can speak through.
Okay, but it's repeating.
Spring back. Mute the actual power.
Which one must I use? This one.
1, 2.
Okay, I've never seen a serious welcome like this ever before. And I'm sure it tells us, the importance of this ceremony, the importance of this event. We are so excited to be here, all of us, to celebrate the achievement that our learners in particular, have done, and them going through the program throughout the year up until where they are right now. We are very excited for them, and we see a brighter future in them, particularly when it comes to the issues of sustainability and 4IR technologies. I am personally passionate about 4IR technologies. I read a lot about them. I'm not an expert in them. I read a lot about them just to understand how they impact us and so on and so on. And when I was invited on Thursday, I said, there's no way I'm going to miss this opportunity, because I've been meeting people who are really researching about this, particularly if these researches are done by learners, because then you start realizing how important this 4IR is to us, and how we really need to be embracing it. I don't want to be wasting a lot of time. There's the program is a bit long. If you look at the program, it's mostly our speeches will be moving from 5 to 10 minutes, at maximum around 15 minutes. I'll request the presenters and speakers to stick to the time, so that at least we finish on time. But also to welcome our colleagues that are in Denmark. I hear there's colleagues also viewing from Denmark. Live stream, this occasion and event is being live streamed. I also would love to extend our warm welcome to them. And interesting enough, I hear that we're not having much difference in terms of the time difference. I think we're almost at the same time difference. I loved the motto, the theme, think big and start small. I mean, that's where we start, and this is the only way we can really make sure that we make an impact by just starting at a small area, some small group of learners, some small group of teachers, some small group of district officials. And this thing will make a very big impact. And I hear this was a pilot program. And from this, I'm dead sure we learned quite a lot. And this will help us a lot in moving forward. I don't want to be wasting a lot of time. In terms of ground rules, I will just request colleagues to at least switch off their cell phone or put them on silence so that at least we're not interfering with the normal running of this program. But also, I'm sure you would have seen the loose just outside here, next to the entrance on the right. But basically, those are the little remarks that I would love to say. Without wasting any much time, I would love to welcome the CEOs from Sci-Bono, Dr. Moreshikane, to come and take us through the first item on the agenda, which is the opening and the welcome. Dr. Chakani, the stage is yours.
May I please remove my mask? And program director, the representative from the United Nations Development Program, which is UNDP, representative from the Embassy of Denmark here in South Africa, representative from FESTEM, representative from the UNICEF, representative from the Department of Science and Innovation, representative from Sci-Bono Discovery Center, the teachers that are here, the learners that are here, and distinguished guests in the auditorium, on Zoom, also on Sci-Bono live Facebook account. Dumela. Good morning. Goeiemôre. Yambo. Yambo in Kiswahili greeting. And I'm told that there are people also from Denmark. I will say hi, but my hi is S-H-E-J, hey. Let me officially open this ceremony and let me declare it opened. Before I do that, let me also welcome the following people. Now that I've declared the ceremony open, I hereby would like to welcome Dr. Ayodele Odusola, the resident representative of UNDP, South Africa, Dr. Moneni, Deputy Director, General Technology Innovation from the DSI, His Excellency, Mr. Tobias, the Ambassador of Denmark here in South Africa, Ms. Christine, the representative from the UNICEF, South Africa, Ms. Judy Sandrock, the Director of FENSTEM, Ms. Amanda Ngwenya, Advisor in the Danish Energy Agency, Mr. Isaac Ramova, who is the Director of Science Promotion in DSI, and of course, Mr. Herman Sikwele from the UJ Technolab Manager, who is today our Program Director, Mr. Annele Davids, who is the Acting COO of Sci-Bono Discovery Center, Mr. Akash Dushrath, who is the Senior Science Manager from Sci-Bono Discovery Center, and also a special welcome to our distinguished teachers, my distinguished learners, and all distinguished guests. You are all welcomed. I thought I'll get a hand. Thank you. Now that I've welcomed everyone, I would love to conclude by raising the following three things. One, let me make it very clear that here we in Sci-Bono, we are deeply honored to have partnered with FENSTEM, with UNDP, with UNICEF and Embassy of Denmark to implement this impactful pilot project. We are deeply honored. Two, let me also make it clear that it is our wish that the actual program will now be rolled out to a much larger scale to save the planet Earth. My work today is to open and welcome, and I don't want to talk more about the planet Earth that I myself, I regard as the environmental activist. I hold dearly and I'm passionate about the planet Earth. And lastly, on behalf of Sci-Bono Board of Directors, on behalf of Sci-Bono employees, and on behalf of all our stakeholders, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for this wonderful initiative. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chakani, for the warm welcome. I can feel it that when you mentioned that you are honored, I could feel it that you really are honored to be having stakeholders from all over the world, coming over and converging in this auditorium, particularly for a good purpose like a project like this one. And I am also wishing that, from next year, this program should go fully fledged and, touch so many lives in our country. I mean, climate change and global warming, it's the reality. Whenever I think about this, I remembered when I was still at high school and I was taught about continental drift theory. I mean, for me to be able to be studying science right now was my teacher who taught me about continental drift theory, because for me, it made lots of sense. That, it looks like this whole world was one thing and it started drifting away and so on. So, and that's when I started understanding how theories work. Some people still think global warming is a theory of some sort, but we can see the evidence of it right now. I mean, last week we had serious storms in Gauteng, particularly in the eastern part of Gauteng, Ekurhuleni in particular. And normally in Gauteng, we don't expect such storms at this time of the year. In the last week of September, early the first week of February, October, no. But those are some of the things that are showing us, our science, to say, really, this thing is a reality. And if we don't start doing something about it right now, we will be in trouble. But I'm happy that, the learners that we will be honoring here today are starting to look at it as young as they are. And in my language, there's a saying that goes, meaning for us to be able to have them being able to sort out those kind of problems, we must start them at the tender age. And I'm happy that already they're starting to know how to collect data. They're starting to think about how best that data can be utilized to sort out issues on global warming. Let me not waste time and invite here, struggling with my eyes, and invite here Dr. Ayodele Odosola, representing the UNDP South Africa, to come and take us through this program, particularly the Think Big, Start Small. youth-led robotics for multi-dimensional climate solution. I love the fact that, they're utilizing 4IR to sort out, to try to attempt to sort out issues of global change. So Dr. Ayodole Odusola, I hope I pronounced it properly.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and the program director, our dear host, it's really a pleasure being with you this morning. And I strongly believe this is an opportunity for us to really leverage what the welcoming address has been focusing attention on. And I strongly believe that we have the opportunity of influencing our planet in a very positive manner. I just want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all our hosts. And I want to really save the time by not going through all the protocols, but I just want to let you know that our dear host, the key partners, both FEMSEM and Sci-Bono, and also our dear partners from the Danish Embassy, His Excellency and his spouse, Bill to be with us today, and also my dear sister, Christian Magana, who is the resident representative for UNICEF in South Africa, and also our dear learners, our dear instructors and teachers that have made this particular event today extremely very possible. And I just want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you for this opportunity once again. It's really a pleasure to be in your midst to talk about the issue of think big and start small, which is youth-led robotics in multi-dimensional climate solutions. We strongly believe that the planet has gone beyond its limit in terms of how humanity has really overutilized the capacity of the planet. And we are all paying for it now. And I'm so happy that our youth are really providing opportunity for us to really look at how we can effectively address this issue at this particular moment. I strongly believe that with the kind of the opportunities we have with all our youth, it will really provide opportunity for us to really shape the dynamics of the development using the kind of instruments we have in terms of robotics, artificial intelligence, the big data, and so many other ones that will help us to shape the direction of the planet. It is on this note that I say, I just joined a doctor that has really provided the real opening remark, which again is sending the direction in terms of how we need to shape this. And I just want to let you know that UNDP has really taken this as something that is extremely very important. And that's why we're so proud to partner with all our partners that are here, not only our technical institutions like the FEMSTEM and Sci-Bono, as well as also our partnering institutions that have made it extremely very possible for us to get this today. On this note, I just want to really let you know that the purpose of today's event is to really jointly recognize and celebrate our learners, our youngsters, that have really provided a kind of innovation that can change the world. At times, when the elders contributed to the kind of damage we have today in the world, the future leaders, our young learners, are the ones bailing us out now in terms of the innovative ideas that have come out of the kind of training we've passed through over the past 6 months. And I strongly believe this is a golden opportunity for us to really leverage the capacity of our youth in changing the world. And this is really something that is going to help us in shaping these dynamics completely. And I just want to really also mention that, one, it is very important for us to really invest in the future. Without investing in our youth, development would never take place. And the issue of climate challenge that we are all committed to will be in futility. And that's why I'm so honored to have our youth, our young scholars, contributing their quota in our lifetime. And I see this as a golden opportunity for us to really leverage. As we all know, Africa is the most youthful continent in the world. It accounts for 64% of its population being 25 years old and below, relative to 27% in Europe and 41% in Asia. So for us to really invest in development, we need to invest in our youth. And I strongly thank also our teachers that have made it possible for them to get to this particular level. All of us that are here, either you're a president, whether you're a minister, you're a premier, you're a councillor, mayor, or anywhere in the world, we're all where we are because of our teachers. And I just want us to give a round of applause to our teachers wherever they are in the world. Thank you. UNDP operates in over 170 countries in the world to contribute to dealing with the challenges of the world today, helping to address poverty, helping to promote transformative governance, and helping to promote what we call the kind of environment, the kind of development that will be sustainable in the end. And that's why we work with all the countries to promote green growth and to develop solutions on how to sustainably manage our natural endowments. And this is something that has led to what we do in South Africa, UNDP country office here. We focus on things that will help us to really address the triple development challenges that the government and people of South Africa have articulated at what they need to work on. Reducing poverty, reducing inequality and exclusion, and ensuring that we promote resilient society also, but essentially dealing with the issue of joblessness. And I see this as a golden opportunity for us to really see how can we really use this to drive development. And the beauty of it is that we in UNDP, we see the issue of managing development through innovations, through the fourth industrial revolution that people are talking about, where our people can use data, can use artificial intelligence, can use coding system, can use robotics to change the pathway of development in a more sustainable way. And we're deeply, deeply honored in this regard. And I just want to really underscore the fact that one of the approaches we often adopt is how best can we really push the frontier of development in terms of this. UNDP corporately has developed what they call digital strategy, which is one of the very first UN agencies that's done it. And the beauty of it is that how can we continue to think about using the issue of science, using the issue of technology, using the issue of engineering and mathematics STEM to really shape the direction of development that will be good for you and me. And in this regard, we created what we call the Fourth Industrial Revolution Initiative based in Nairobi. That's the Fourth Industrial Revolution Initiative to cover African countries. And I strongly believe that this would be a solid opportunity for us to see how some of our youngsters here can be exposed to what is happening in the rest of the world, because we know our youngsters here can compete with anybody in the world based on the kind of things we've gotten from them. But I just want to let you know that the issue of innovation, the issue of using the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the issue of using science, using engineering, using technology and mathematics to shape the frontier of development is something we use as a major instrument of transformation. And that's why we are partnering with all the actors today to really honor our youngsters that have exhibited high level of innovation in managing development. And I just want to let you know that there are a number of other things we use innovation to address, particularly in our country office here in South Africa. First, the issue of youth entrepreneurship, enterprise development is one of the things we do, where we focus attention on youth that could use a number of innovative ideas to bring development to our doorstep. Just early last year, we trained about 2 cohorts of young South African entrepreneurs that are using a lot of innovative. One of them got a national award last year, and another this year was among the 300 entrepreneurs globally that the UN nominated in terms of innovativeness and award. So I strongly believe that we have a number of them, because one of the entrepreneurs is focusing on township connectivity. Another one is focusing on what we use, biodiesel and biogas development, and so many of them. Very innovative, and I think we need to really really give them credence when it comes. Also, one of the initiatives we've been talking about in partnership with South African Wind Energy Project, SAWEP, is the Wind Energy Technology Technicians. We succeeded in developing, training 2 cohorts through Stratec in Cape Town, where they focus on the new technology relating to wind energy. It's not only about installing or maintaining wind turbines, but also manufacturing some of the parts. And when I visited them, the first cohort last year, the beauty of it is that the first cohort, I was told all of them had secured employment before even completing the assignment, their task. So that's the kind of thing we thought we should be able to contribute to. And also the issue of low-cost internet access, which we are launching in 4 provinces. The last one we launched was in KZN, just about 2 months, just before the arrest. The beauty of it is that we are taking internet access to rural communities where they never access data. And the joy of it is that while the big guys like MTN and Vodacom are charging between 85 to 150 Rand per gigabyte, the one we launched in Port Shepstone just about 2 months ago is charging just about 5 Rand per day, meaning more than a gigabyte per day. So it really shows that we can bring development to doorstep of rural communities through innovation. And also there's so many other initiatives which we thought we need to really bring to our attention. But I just want to let you know that it's really critical for us to really see how we shape this in the right direction. And I want to really, really say that the beauty of it is that South Africa is relatively above the global averages when it comes to the issue of women and girls' involvement in STEM and what they call scientific innovative engagement. And because we are comparing to the global average, which was based on UNESCO's report that shows that less than 30% of women and girls are involved in STEM activities all over the world, particularly when it comes to the issue of research in the area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, in South Africa, we have, as of 2015, we had at least about 45% of women and girls being involved in this particular process. And we know that we're above the world average, but there are a number of other challenges that we still need to do. When we look at the leadership of organizations, whether public or private sector, a large proportion are still men. And we strongly believe there's need for us to really see how we shape this. And also, if you look at based on the level of exclusion and inequality, you then realize that there are so many marginalized communities that do not even have access to electricity, not to talk about having access to data, where they'll be able to use internet and the like. So we need to really find a way of making sure issues like these are effectively addressed. And we thought there's need for us to really take this initiative further in order to make sure we use it to shape development completely on the continent and also in South Africa. How can we encourage our youngsters to really contribute to the issue of stopping the kind of carnage to the planet Earth, as mentioned by Dr. earlier on in his welcome address? I think this is part of where our role really have to really come out very strongly. And I want to use this opportunity to call on everybody that is here and those that are really listening to us through virtually, that let us continue to play a role of making sure we support our youngsters, irrespective of where they are, to really promote innovation that will help us shape the development of the world and the development of South Africa the way we want it. And I just want to really underscore the fact that the youth needs to be fully involved in the climate action. We have what we call the Barometer initiative, which we are currently working on, where we want the youth to be a major actor in the fight against climate action. And on the basis of that, we are partnering with Department of Forestry, Fishery, and Environment, and many other actors on the ground to really make sure the youth are part of the awareness creation on how to really address the issue of climate mitigation and climate adaptation, where we can stop some of the practices that are leading to the overheating of the system, where the thunderstorm that Dr. mentioned earlier on, we never experienced it before. I mean, in that particular period of the year, but it's becoming an issue. The heat wave all over which we experienced over the past few years is a warning reality. The scarcity of water in Cape Town in 2018 is something that is very dear. And also we have seen the kind of flooding that have been experienced in many parts of the country over the past 2 years. All of us hear about the Hurricane Idai in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique, and in Malawi. It's a warning to all of us. And I strongly believe that if we invest heavily in our youth, to be able to really create the kind of awareness, create advocacy with all our policymakers, opinion shapers, I think this will help us to move forward in the right direction. And I strongly believe that the role of the youth in climate action can be quite huge, not only in terms of creating opportunity for us to really see how innovations can help us change many of the things we're talking in the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 of them, but none of them can be achieved without the role of innovation. None of them can be achieved without strengthening the capacity of STEM, from the first goal of ending poverty to the last one of dealing with partnership for development. We strongly believe that we need to really do our best to really bring this to reality. One thing which I often say, based on one of the reports that just came out, is that even investing in South Africa alone on renewable energy alone can create over 200,000 jobs. And that will help a lot in ending some of the challenges we have in terms of joblessness in the country. And that's just opening the new ones, because they have the capacity of expanding and making sure that we have a green growth system in the country. And I strongly believe that it's really very, very important for us to really see how we can push this initiative forward. And it is in this regard that we thought we need to really do more. The clarion call given by Dr. earlier on, that by next year we need to scale this one up, I think it's a call to every one of us, so that we can really move it from the current level we've had to the number that will help us to really, really change the frontier of the fourth industrial revolution, not only in the country, but also in the continent, and also for South Africa to serve as the pace setter for changing the way we do things in terms of climate action, climate promise, because without every one of us being involved, climate promise will still end up being a theory rather than the practical reality that is facing the world today. So I really want to really conclude by not only saying that the youth play a very critical role when it comes to the issue of innovation, and that we cannot really, really achieve what we have planned to without the role of the youth being fully entrenched and then being fully integrated, not only into the national development plan, but also in our respective programs on the ground. And I want to use this opportunity to say, once again, a big thank you to the Danish Embassy that has made it extremely very, very possible for us to kick off the process. Our partnership with the government of Denmark is quite long. And part of the partnership we had together as far back as 2008 was what led to the first wind farm in South Africa, the Darling Wind Farm in South Africa. That was the first set of partnership we had. And I'm so happy that today we're now shifting the frontier from being from infrastructure, the hardware component of it, into the software of innovation. And that's where we're focusing more attention on STEM. And I know that this will help us to move the frontier forward. And you know, if you're talking about children anywhere in the world, if you have not mentioned UNICEF, that project is incomplete. And that's why we know that UNICEF has what they call the wealth of experience that is needed to really galvanize action among children. And that's why you have my sister, Christine, here today, who has been part of the real driver of the entire process when it comes to the issue of developing strategies to fully engage our children, irrespective of where they are, whether in elementary school, whether in high school or in tertiary institution. So thank you very much for the role UNICEF has played in taking us to this particular destination. And also to say a big thank you once again to FEMSTEM and Sci-Bono. This is really great. Thank you, because we know the two of you are world-class centers of excellence when it comes to the issue of fourth industrial revolution. And we will continue to count on you for the kind of partnership that will help us to shift the frontier of fully engaging our youth in fourth industrial revolution in the country. And I want to say it's impossible without all of you that are here, particularly our facilitators, our young star learners. Today will be incomplete without you being here, because we can't do it. In my local language, we always say, you cannot shave people's head in their absence, unless you want to use some kind of spiritual power. Now, without you being here, it will be impossible for us, and this event will be incomplete. So thank you very much. Yeah, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, this is just the beginning of many things we will be doing together. And I'm using this opportunity for us to really see how we can expand the scope and the depth of this particular initiative, so that from next year, it will be far more than what we are doing today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Odusola. You said a mouthful. I could tell that UN is in the house. All the information, the wealth of information that we have in, I could really tell that United Nations is in the house. I don't want to waste time. I would love to call upon Dr. Mboneni Moife. Is on Zoom. My IT guys will really help me in this regard to connect him so that he can take the next item. Mr. Dr. Moife, I will give you only 5 minutes because we are really running out of time. I would request you to please squeeze your talk to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. I hope you can hear me. I think I keep being reminded that you can hear me. So if it gets worse, I'll probably just off the camera. However, I just want to thank
Are the IT guys helping
everybody
us?
for the opportunity, those who are involved in organizing. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good morning, can you hear me? Okay, so I got a feedback that I'm being heard. So let me just continue. I'm just gonna keep my video off because
maybe we'll
in
need
the rural areas
to
where we see
Dr. Moifo from DSI and move over to His Excellency Mr. Tobias Elling Refel, the Ambassador of Denmark to South Africa, to take us through the message of support from his side, His Excellency.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Is it working? Is that one? Okay. Sure. All right, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I think we've done all the introductions. I've learned in South Africa, you say all protocol observed and everyone will be happy. So all protocol observed, it's really good to be here. It's a privilege to be with you this morning. Of course, it's very nice to be with all the old guys, all my age, the ones who are speaking. We dance to the same music from the 70s and 80s. It's not pretty, but we know what it is. It's actually much, much more interesting today to be with you, the learners, the voice of the future, the ones that we really are celebrating today. You have embarked on a very complicated and very interesting journey, and maybe that's also why you've chosen a very complicated title, Think Big, Start Small, Youth-Led Robotics for Multi-Dimensional Climate Solutions. That is complicated and just gives a little bit of an idea about what you guys are actually doing. So also to you, my warm greetings. It's a pleasure to be here. There's actually nothing better than to be in a room full of young, alert, innovative minds. It gives me a lot of comfort, gives me a lot of hope, gives me hope that we will be indeed all right, that the world will remain a place of beauty and humanity, and that every new generation is really a chance of redemption of the failures that has been made before, and a promise of the future. So thank you very much. The Embassy of Denmark in South Africa, we are very proud to be part of this important project and journey together with our very close friends and partners in UNDP, UNICEF, Sci-Bono, FEMSTERM. Denmark is committed to contribute to empowering South African women, South African youth, and to support innovative and sustainable development in South Africa. And there's no better way to prepare for and shape a brighter and greener future than to invest in young people, to invest in you guys, especially in young people's skills in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, the STEM skills. Digital skills are one of the most important assets of today, and certainly also of the future. This is what we need. In Denmark, we consider ourselves quite a front runner as a digital nation. But the reality is that we have a strong demand for young talents in STEM sciences, and that demand is constantly increasing. In fact, in Denmark, one of the main barriers for our innovative capacity and our continued economic growth is the lack of educated people with STEM skills, STEM sciences, not least in the areas of IT and computer technology. So we have made an ambition for ourselves in Denmark that we should have 20% more students completing a STEM education by 2028. Now, of course, the same challenge applies here in South Africa. We hear that from private Danish companies investing into South Africa. They're constantly looking for young South African talents that can help them to develop new innovative solutions to societal challenges, and not least within the climate change and green energy transition. So we really hope that this project will pave the way and equip all of you, the students, for the employment in the future technologies of tomorrow. There are plenty of jobs out there, and I wish you all the best in that pursuit. You are the future of South Africa. You possess the challenge and the potential to drive change and to address some of the challenges to climate created by my generation and by your grandfathers and mothers' generations. You have the potential to make the world a better place, a safer place, and a greener place. And make no mistake, we're standing on a burning platform here. In the climate change that are happening right now will have potential catastrophic effects for Denmark and for South Africa. Denmark is a small, well, it's not really a small country if we include Greenland. It's a country of more than 400 islands, including the biggest island in the world, Greenland. Greenland has for thousands of years collected snow and ice. Greenland is about twice the size of South Africa. But now that ice is melting, and it's melting fast. It means by the end of this century, the water levels potentially will have risen more than a meter. For a country of 400 islands, that's a catastrophic effect. Now in South Africa, you have a wonderful country with high mountains. 1 meter of water may not be the biggest catastrophe, but all the projections shows that if we have an increase of temperature of 1.5%, which is by this time not likely unless we shape up, unless countries shape up for the COP26, then the increase of temperature might be 2%. All calculations shows that those numbers will be double in South Africa. So if it's 2% increase globally, it's 4% in South Africa. You can imagine those of you who live in Northern Cape, in Mpumalanga and Limpopo, what an additional 4% increase will mean for harvest, for living, for health. We guys are expecting a lot of you. So even though today's award ceremony celebrates the achievement of the project, as we have heard from many of my esteemed colleagues, it's hopefully just the beginning for a successful, well, career for all of you, and the start for the positive outcomes of the project, which will hopefully multiply and steadily grow as educators train more students and learners that can put their skills into practice over the coming years. I really, at the end of this, want to extend a great word of gratitude and thank you to our allies on this remarkable journey: Sci-Bono, Discovery Center, UNDP, FEMSTERN, Cinebox, UNICEF, especially the 25 facilitators and the 152 learners who are our future scientists. Another big thank you also to all the parents, to all the guardians that have supported you, the learners, on this journey. Congratulations to all of you. I thank you for your dedication, and I thank you for the hope that each of you represent for a better and greener future for South Africa and the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, His Excellency Tobias Refeld. You've said a mouthful. I would love to quickly go back to Dr. Moifo. The IT team, please help us to connect to Dr. Moifo.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to send my greetings to everyone who is attending this event and also those who have been quite instrumental in its organization. I just want to really speak very briefly about the issues of the skills and sustainability in the fourth industrial revolution, because I think that is quite important as we look into the future. Firstly, because when we talk about what we are trying today is basically about outlining the plan and planning for the future. And as a result of that, it is therefore very critical that whatever we do, we ride this wave with our youth. So what I therefore want to really start with is, together following on the presentation that was done firstly today, is the matter of how do we starting growing big, is the value of both literary and numeracy skills. Those are some of the things that we need to begin to appreciate as young people planning for the future of not only our country as South Africa, but the whole universe. And secondly, I think it is important for us to appreciate whatever has been created, whatever we consume, is actually an outcome of the role that technical skills play. And as a result of that, I want to say that young people, we need to make sure that we build ourselves in terms of the technical skills that we have. And here, when I talk about technical skills, I want to reflect on skills such as robotics, coding, programming, and ultimately really just building on whatever we can get from the STEM kind of learning, so that we can be able to be young people who are not only consumers of the products that come to the market, but also creators. Because ultimately, when we talk about the future, we want a future where you are going to create what you want to consume, not what somebody else decides that you can consume. So that is really why I want to also emphasize that we need to have technical skills on board. Now, the last part that I really want to look at is the role of the entrepreneurial skills. And we know that entrepreneurs take a whole lot of things into the market. And in doing so, I just want to really indicate that young people need to take charge of what the world of entrepreneurship brings to them. So for example, we need to understand that when we have used our technical skills to develop and to create, then there needs to be people who take these things to the market and who are able to sell the technical solutions to the world. And this is really going to be very much the future that entrepreneurship is going to enable us to hold on to. So I want to encourage young as we look at strengthening our capability and our space, both in the area of technicality and entrepreneurship, that we know that we are actually preparing ourselves to inherit the Earth in its entirety, adhered to issues of climate change and its sensitivities. The last area that I want to look into is that of soft skills. Remember, everything that you do, whether it is about your technical skills, whether it is about your issues of entrepreneurship, you are going to operate in a society, and that society requires that you appreciate and you are sensitive to what they like and how they react to whatever you bring to them. So I therefore want to say, young people, you need to be able to look at those soft skills, be it communication, be it also understanding that you need to collaborate, that you need to be adaptable, and that you also need to share the context that is actually in terms of the content relevant to whatever communities that you are servicing. And the last point that I want to emphasize, which is very critical, is that the world is about teamwork. Contrary to what we used to believe that the world is flat, we need to appreciate that the world is actually round, and that roundness is about the interconnectivity that you need to have. So we cannot work and operate and be successful unless we operate as a team. So I therefore want to say, with those few words, I look forward to really having the youth of today, the youth that are involved in this program, to be part of the future that they are going to build, part of the future that they are going to actually create for themselves, and part of the future that they are going to direct by their way of actions today, appreciating that we need to make sure that whoever is living at a particular period of time needs to appreciate that the world is going to have to be handed over to those that are coming after us. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we're having some little bit of a challenge with connection with Dr. Muyufo, and we've been waiting for him for some time. We hope he's gonna eventually get through. and take us through his presentation. Maybe let me again request the IT team to come closer and connect us to Miss Judy Sandrop, Director at FEMSTEP, to take us through the highlights of the project. Obviously, each and every project, particularly being a pilot program, you will always have challenges, you will always have highlights, but we learn from those kind of projects. So I'm giving this opportunity to Judy Sandrock. Please, if you can, limit it to 5 minutes so that we still keep the time. Judy?
Hi, everyone. I think there's probably a very big time delay, so I hope that you're seeing my slides now.
I'm sure the whole project IT team is trying to connect with Mr. Dr. Moyufo.
Let me. I
The
think
IT team, please help us to connect to
my presentation.
Judy.
Think big, start small. Highlights from the implementation of the virtual climate change training program. So what did we learn about? We learned about light. In the foyer, you would have seen a number of the X chips. So let me turn my camera on so that you can see what I'm talking about. Here you go. What I have is I have these modular electronics. And what we did, these are called X in a box or X chips. What X in a box is, what is X going to be today? So what we do is we have these modular electronics, which are all standard sizes. Those of you, we all know about Lego, the famous Danish product. So what one can do is one can say that these are Lego for electronics. And what I do now is that I simply put together my circuit over here like this.
This is what it is.
And I think I'm going to have some feedback. So I'm just going to, there we go. And so what I've done is that I've put together a circuit. I have a processor, I have power, I have an input, which is a light sensor, and I have my little screen as an output. And what I do is that I give it a little bit of power. And what it is now that it's running, you may not be able to see the little screen light up, but what it's doing is that it's giving me a light reading, a little lighthouse. So here I have lux, or a natural light intensity, as well as UV index. So certainly what we did is we learned a lot about light, the nature of light, ultraviolet A, B, and C, and also the energy associated with the light. So this really, really assisted us in terms of Sustainable Development Goal 7. And we had a look at as well at solar power. Then we also learned about heat and humidity. And really, when we talk about whether we're in our comfort zone or out of our comfort zone, that relates to this graphic that we can see over here. What we did is we had a look at the role of greenhouse gases because of the incoming solar radiation and the energy in that light, and how it actually affects life on our planet. As the ambassador mentioned, we have global warming as a product of climate change. And so that is why we had a look at climate action, goal number 13. And then if I go through to the next slide. Okay, there we go. Then what we did is we also had a look at life on land, goal number 15, Sustainable Development Goal number 15, life on land. And with our pack of sensors, we not only had a light sensor, we had a weather sensor giving us temperature, pressure, and humidity. And we also had a soil moisture sensor. So you can see here what it is we had soil moisture, we had light intensity, etc., etc. This is a very typical example This is a very typical example of an IoT dashboard that we used for our projects. And so what we did is we had a look at robotics, and it's all about what was the job that you want your robot to perform? Why do you want it to perform that particular task? What are our inputs that we're going to use? In other words, our sensors, what sensor data are we going to use from our environment? And then the output, which is actually the job that we have our robot performing. So we will see during the awards, there's an award for a robotics idea for Goal 7, affordable and clean energy, Goal 13, climate action, as well as 15, life on land. And really, what are the highlights? Our project targets were that we were going to have topics around 3 sustainable development goals. We were going to train 20 educators, and we were going to engage with 60 students. And what have we been able to achieve? Well, we've actually achieved those 3 in terms of the 3 sustainable development goals. We were able to engage with 25 teachers and educators and impacted over 100 students. And what were the challenges that we had to overcome? We had extended school closures. Unexpected COVID-19 school closures prevented teachers and facilitators from engaging our students. The solution was we engaged all the students virtually, with everybody receiving a kit at home. More than half the students participated virtually, and everyone else was assisted by their teacher in a local community center. We had a chip shortage. There's a global chip shortage at the moment. So what we did is we actually had to redesign 2 of our crucial chips, and you can see on the right-hand side before and after. So what we had to do is we had to go forward with those changes. We had to actually change our production, change our design. And then the biggest highlight of all was in Douglas in the Northern Cape. Colleen and Denise engaged over 100 local youth with in-person workshops, and a huge shout out to Colin and Brittany, who shipped their kits to the team. So they gave up their kits, their student kits, so that the team could engage more students. So yes, thank you very much. Those were the highlights. And now I'd like to hand back to the chair.
So we are muted here.
Okay. Hi, Judy. Hi, Judy. Judy?
Yes, hi, I'm here. Maybe you've got a very long delay.
Jury, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you, but I think you have a very long delay.
Yes, hi, I'm here. Maybe you
Don't worry, I gave my presentation and it performed perfectly on Facebook. Hi, everyone. Please let me know if you can see my slides. Hi, everyone. Can you see and hear me? Maybe if somebody can just send me a WhatsApp. Let's see if it's working now. Great. Okay, I can see it's working now. Let's go ahead. So thank you, everybody. I'm Judy Sandrock. I represent the implementation team from FemSTEM. And I'm hoping that you can see my camera. Can somebody in the audience please send me a message and let me know if you can see my camera, because I'm holding up a kit to the screen. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so what I've done here is I've actually put together a lighthouse circuit. So all of the electronics are modular electronics. And sorry to the audience on Zoom, you're seeing this presentation for the second time. So I'll try to change it a little bit. So what we have is we have these modular electronics. They're almost like the Lego of electronics. We have standard sizes, and not only standard sizes, but standard communication protocol, as well as current and voltage. So what I'm doing is that I've got an input, I've got an output as my little screen, I've got a processor, I've got a core CPU processor here, and I've also got USB power. So what I've done is that I've flashed this kit with Arduino code that is going to give me my lighthouse. So here we go. What I do is that I add some power, and now hopefully we can see the lighthouse. Okay, everybody. I haven't had a message to say that you can see me on the video screen as well. So I think let me just proceed. Let me proceed here. Good. Right. So what we have is we had a number of challenges to overcome. We had school closures, which were really unexpected this year. There were occasions where the schools were closed because of the Delta variant. Also, the thing is it prevented the teachers and the facilitators that we trained to actually engage with the students. And the solution was that we engaged with everybody over Zoom, as many people as we could possibly engage with them. And everybody received an X in a box kit at home. And so there were multiple elements, lots of sensors that they received, as well as many outputs, also outputs where they could actually build their robotics projects. And we also had a chip shortage. So I'm not sure how many of you know that there's a global chip shortage, because during lockdown last year, many of the chip manufacturers stopped production. And also when they started production again, what they're doing is that they're using a newer technology in terms of chips. But what we did, and really thanks to Bjarke Gottfredson, the inventor of X in a Box, he was able to change the design on those two crucial chips, and you can see that on the right-hand side, before and after what they looked like. And we needed to make sure that we delivered. We couldn't accept any delays in this project. And so what it was is that, yeah, impact waits for no one. And the biggest highlight of all is the team from Douglas in the Northern Cape. Colleen and Denise were able to engage over 100 learners. So thank you very, very much. Our target was 60. Between the Zoom workshops, the fully virtual workshops, and the workshops in Douglas in the Northern Cape, we were able to impact over 150 learners in total. So that is more than double the target we were aiming for. And a special shout out to Colin and Brittany. What they did is that they donated their kits. They made sure that they couriered their kits to Douglas in the Northern Cape so that the team could engage more learners because they had more kits. And so, yeah, thank you very much to everybody. And that covered certainly the highlights that we had in the program.
How it's going to happen? How it's going to happen is that, we're having 7 categories that we will be awarding the prizes for. The first category being the most innovative project, which was addressing SDG 7, affordable and energy. And the next category is the most innovative project addressing SDG 13, climate action. And the third category, the most innovative project, addressing SDG 15, life on land. And the project team player, which is the category number 4. Fifth category is best overall performance. And the sixth category is project ambassador. And the last category is educators awards, most learners engaged. I will be calling upon the presenters for the awards. And the presenters, please take us through a little bit background in terms of how that particular category was awarded. And then from there, you will call upon the winner of that particular category. We will have the present or the gift that is going to be presented to the learner. And then from there, some short remarks from the learners, if possible, and a picture with the winner. And then from there, the learner will descend the stage, and obviously also the presenter. And we can move to the next category. The first category, as I said, it's going to be a most innovative project addressing SDG 7. And this category is going to be presented by Dr. Ayodele Odusola.
Thank you, Program Director. And let me observe all the protocols again. The brilliant learner nominated for the category Most Innovative Project, SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, is passionate about making our world a more excellent place and turning potential into performance through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Oh. Thank you. So in the final robotics project, the nominated learner took on the challenge of protecting solar panels from damage due to extreme weather, such as hail and wind. Using a weather sensor, temperature, atmospheric pressure, and relative humidity, the robot can be programmed to predict extreme weather. The light sensor will also give a good indication of cloud cover as it measures natural sunlight. Also, reduction in this level indicates cloud cover and cloud type, warning us of hailstorm clouds. Using servo output, the robot will be able to move the solar panel to orientate it in a safe position, thereby reducing potential damage on solar panels, and thereby contributing to the Sustainable Development Goal number 7, sustainable energy for all. And the award winner is Ms. Grace Pakuda.
On behalf of all the planners, organizers, and our sponsors, I present this award to you. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. I thank God for this grace. I thank the UNDP, the Sci-Bono Discovery Center, FEMSTEM. I am tremendously honored and happy to have interacted and met people who are actually very dedicated in making our world a better place, and who are eagerly and sincerely working on improving our planet. And STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths, encompass way more than we can imagine. Throughout this program, I have interacted with motivated and ambitious facilitators and participants. I have learned a lot, I've developed skills. And, but most importantly, I've learned that I can use my knowledge to actually fix problems. My name is Grace Pakuda, and I'm from Buren High School in Cape Town. I really encourage the youth. To study science, technology, engineering, and maths, because they armor us with the skills that will enable us to fight problems with confidence and solve those problems in the greatest way. Well, just think about it. A youth that has these skills, a youth that can use these skills to fix problems, a youth that can use these skills to improve lives. Well, I see a future with a massive revolution, and I see a brighter future. And this is really hopeful, really hopeful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Obono Odusola. And congrats to Ms. Grace Pakuda. You are making us proud. Congrats. Can you give her a round of applause again? Thank you so much. The next category is most innovative project addressing SDG 13, climate change. And this award is going to be presented by Dr. Tuli Kumalo. Over to you, Dr. Kumalo.
Good morning. Is it working?
Yeah, it is.
Good morning, Excellencies, online and in the room, dignitaries, and all protocol observed. The excellent learner nominated for the category Most Innovative Project, SDG 13 Climate Action, has proposed a robotics design that would help us grow food in harsh climate change affected environments. The creative idea in the nominated learner spinal robotics assignment is to construct a large greenhouse or food growing tunnel with a regulated environment. A robot would ensure the maintenance of soil moisture to maximize crop growth. The input data would be soil moisture, air temperature, and relative humidity, and natural light intensity. Using output controllers, the robot could open a hydroponic nutrient and water valve should the soil moisture be too low, as well as turn on a fan to introduce cooler air should the internal air temperature be too high. The ambassador spoke about high temperatures. Maybe this is the solution. As such, the learner has applied skills acquired through the climate STEM and robotics training program and has suggested an innovative solution which would contribute to food security and climate adaptation. The award winner is Nandi Zuma. Nandi, on behalf of all the sponsors and all the dignitaries involved in the project, I present you this award. Excellent.
Okay. Hello, I'm Nandi Zuma from KwaZulu-Natal. I chose to do this program to further expand my knowledge in science and technology. This program has taught me to think creatively and innovatively to find better solutions for the future that would also facilitate technological advancements against climate change. I feel that it is crucial to develop new technologies that would be able to help us sustain the Earth and ensure a safer and brighter future for us and future generations. I'd like to thank the UNDP, FemSTEM, UNICEF, the Embassy of Denmark, it's Sci-Bono, sorry, for giving me this opportunity to further explore my interests in robotics and physics. Thank you.
Yeah, we need to take a picture with your award. Huh? Yeah.
Congratulations, Zandi. Congrats.
Nandi.
Nandi. I forgot to introduce Dr. Tuli Kumalo. She is the Deputy Director General, Climate Change and Air Quality, the Department of Forestry and Fisheries and the Environment. I just wanted to introduce her so that at least we know who she is. Thanks, ma'am. The next category is most innovative project, SDG 15, Life on Land. And I'm going to call upon Ms. Christine Muhigana to come and present this award.
Thank you. So the young and bright learner who is nominated for the category Most Innovative Project SDG 15, Life on Land, has shown real passion about conserving nature and life around her. She came up with an original project concept focusing on the issue of ecosystems rehabilitation. Environmental damage can cause sinkholes, which threatens human and animal life and makes land dangerous to farm. The nominated learner's final robotics assignment concept takes weather, particle size, and oil moisture data into account when predicting sinkhole collapses and alerts farmers to impeding dangers. And the output would be to dispatch a mechanized excavator to dig up the area and rehabilitate the land and soil for it to become productive once again, protecting organisms and human life, and ultimately contributing to SDG 15, Life on Land. And the award winner is Tahira Ahmed. Tahira, congratulations. And on behalf of the sponsors of this incredible program, I present to you this award. She needs to wipe the microphone.
Good day, everybody. I just want to thank FemSTEM and all its sponsors for giving me this amazing opportunity. Throughout the duration of the course, I've learned many things with regards to robotics and technology. And one of the biggest things that stood out for me was the fact that FemSTEM taught me that to pursue my ideas and nothing is impossible. So if you have an idea, go out there and make it happen, because your idea can change the world, no matter how small or big it seems. Your idea can, even if it changes one person's life, it still changes somebody, like somebody's life and somebody's way of thinking. I would also like to thank our facilitators for their amazing support, because without them, none of this would be possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Christine, and congratulations to Tahira. Well done. You deserve it. The next category is the project team player. And this category is going to be presented by Mr. Isaac Ramova, who is the Director, Science Promotion, Department of Science and Innovation. Mr. Ramova, please ascend the stage.
Thank you, Program Director. Noting that my colleague, Dr. Moafe, couldn't speak because of technical glitches. So Akash requested me to say a few things, but I won't say a lot. I'm just going to say one thing. which is a message to commend Sci-Bono and the partners in this initiative, in that we know we don't have science centers everywhere in the country, but they made sure that this initiative was accessible to everyone, irrespective of where they are located in the country. And as the Department of Science and Innovation, we are quite grateful for experiencing such commitment. Thank you. The fantastic learner nominated for the category Project Team Player has demonstrated excellent teamwork during climate, robotics, and STEM training workshops. Apart from delivering high quality work and contributions during the program, the learner identified that when a certain weather sensor was connected, the temperature data was not being transmitted. By highlighting this to the technology development team, the code was analyzed and an error was found. The code was corrected and updated thanks to the nominated learner, thereby helping the whole team to participate fully. And our winner here is Shiven Flood.
Thanks.
I'd like to thank everyone who helped in the project. So UNDP, Sci-Bono, and all the other sponsors. And I'd like to help them, thank them, for helping me contribute ideas and help preserve the earth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramogo, for the presentation, and congratulations to Shiven. Well done, you deserve it. The next category is the best overall performance, and this category is going to be presented by Dr. Moro Chakani, the CEO here at Sci-Bono. And yeah, the stage is yours, Doc.
The excellent learner nominated for category Best Overall Performance did not only submit all the assignments and projects required in the program, but also did so before the deadlines. The grades for this learner's work exceeded those of all others. With a bright mind and a great passion for STEM and robotics, it is clear that the nominated learner took the program in his stride. The award winner here is Mr. Tafara Mutero. Congratulations on behalf of partners. There we go. Yes, I will do that.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to thank all the people who made this possible. FemSTEM, Danish Embassy, Judy Sandrock, and all the facilitators. You have taught us skills that are needed for the future. As the future, we control the years and years to come. What this organization and this workshop taught me, that in the game of life, you have to appreciate every chance you get, because most people don't. But for the future, let's keep going. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Chakani, for the presentation, and congratulations to Tafara, and mentioning the fact that we really need to be appreciating the opportunities that we're given in life. And thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. The next category, it's going to be presented by, it's on Project Ambassador, which is going to be presented by His Excellency, Mr. Tobias Elling, and was introduced earlier on. Thanks.
So thank you very much. You have absolutely no idea how proud and hopeful you guys are making us. This is wonderful, and I'm very, very happy to meet a fellow ambassador, a colleague. The excellent learner nominated for the category Project Ambassador has been very active during all of the virtual workshops and submitted 3 robotics proposals, 1 for each of the Sustainable Development Goals covered, namely SDG 7, Clean and Affordable Energy, SDG 13, Climate Action, and SDG 15, Life on Earth. The nominated learner is well-spoken, and I know this. She's confident, and I know this. And by showing a very strong commitment to the project, and with a great passion for robotics and STEM, as well as sustainability, the nominated learner is a perfect ambassador, a good colleague of mine for the project and future robotic programs delivered by FemSTEM. Now, I think this is the last learner we're going to award. And I have been to a Soweto Derby. I know how much noise South Africans can make when they're really engaged. So can I ask all of you to stand up? Stand up, be ready to make a little bit of noise. Are you ready to make noise? The young ones there, are you making noise? Yay! Yay! More noise! More! Yay! The award winner of the Project Ambassador is Miss Grace Pakuda! Woo! Congratulations. Driven all the way from Cape Town in a bus. Time to think, and now time to win. Congratulations. From all of us. More. More.
Okay, I'm back again. Well, I'm really grateful. And what I will leave with all of you and everyone that is following us and the youth is that let's not stop improving. Let's not stop learning. We can learn. We can do more than we think we actually can. And let's not say that I have no experience in this, so I cannot follow this or I cannot start learning this. No, we all have the ability to start learning and make improvements. So I am really honored and I don't even know what to say because I am really, really happy. So to the youth, let's improve and let's learn and let's change the world. Let's change the future. Let's fix the mistakes that the generations before us made through science, technology, engineering, and maths. Yeah.
Congratulations, Grace, once more. We are really proud of you, and I fully understand why His Excellency was so excited about it. It shows that, I love the fact that you said we mustn't stop learning. We have ability, we have an innate ability that we can do these things. Let's keep on pushing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and congrats once more. The last category is the Educator Award. Most learners that engaged in the project, and we know how hard projects can be, particularly if you are an educator. You'll have to put extra hours, you'll have to put the weekends and support the learners and get some extra resources here and there. And we really appreciate Sci-Bono and the team for awarding this category. And this category is going to be done or presented by Akesh himself for the Educator Award category. Akesh.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, these two educators are not here in person. They are listening to us though, virtually and via the Facebook, I should say the YouTube link. The nominated educators overcame many obstacles to deliver to over 100 youngsters in the Northern Cape. These students have no access to internet for participation in the virtual workshops, yet the team brought them to their center for in-person workshops. Recognition also needs to go to Colin Mamdu and Brittany Bull, who sent all their kids to the team in the Northern Cape so that they could accommodate a far larger number of beneficiaries than planned. The award winners are Colleen Urquhart and Denise Skimmel. Big round of applause for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akesh, and congratulations to the winners in that category, Colleen Urquhart and Denise Skimmel. Congratulations, colleagues. I know how hard it can be. I'm a teacher by profession. I know how hard it can be to do those extra activities and extra time. I must mention here that all the learners who participated in this project are all winners, and as such, they will be given certificate of participation, and Sci-Bono would organize how it reaches them. And we are very glad that they participated in the competition. Obviously, there was going to be winners, but we would love them to push on, and next time, particularly that the project might possibly go full-time, fully fledged project, unlike the pilot one. We should be seeing them next year here. Without wasting any other time, maybe just the last round of applause for all the winners. Thank you so much. I would love to call upon Amanda Ngwenya to come and give us an inspirational talk. I'm going to squeeze it to about 7 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning. Or is it noontime now? So good afternoon. You know, to His Excellency, you created such, you know, a hard act to follow upon, right? I was like, oh, the whole auditorium is screaming. How do I come after such an act? That's a very difficult act to follow up, but I think just to echo the sentiments, we really are proud of you learners today and the work that you've done. You should really be proud of yourself. But in the interest of time, I will continue and get right into it. All right, so good morning once again to the Honorable Ambassador and distinguished guests, and all protocol observed. I will take that statement too, right? And of course, to the stars of today, to you, the learners, congratulations on the achievement you have made today. We're very proud of you. So I've actually written down my notes and I'll be reading them as we go along. And I really am proud of you, and I'm excited to be here today, knowing that we have such young people in the room who are oozing with talent. You know, as I saw you guys speaking and the speeches that you gave this morning, I was looking at you and I'm like, wow, our country is really in great hands. So I really am proud of seeing that this morning. So I really am humbled. So the amazing speakers that came before me have addressed the challenges that we're facing as a globe. So I will not go into the facts, but because we've heard them. But I will emphasize that you are the youth and the leaders of tomorrow. So you must therefore seize every opportunity to better our globe. And my task here is simple, as the program director already mentioned. It is to motivate you, the young innovators in our midst this morning. And I will do that by simply showing you an example of how decision-making can be used as a tool to think big, but starting small. So 2 years ago, I made a decision to relocate. I made a decision to relocate to Denmark to study a master's degree in sustainable energy engineering at DTU. And just by a show of hands, students, how many of you know where Denmark is? Yay, that's lovely, yay. I love the eager students in the front row as well. That's great. So yes, I'm glad you know this. So I took the plunge and I relocated. And this was via the Danita Fellowship Center program, which is actually administered at the embassy here in Pretoria. And I had a dream just like you to tackle the issue of climate change. And by helping reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the energy sector, which according to the World Resource Institute actually contributes 76% to greenhouse gas emissions in the globe. So you can see why tackling the energy sector is very important. And so through the work that I do within the energy sector, we work in different energy demand sectors, including power and electricity supply, where we do a lot of, where generally there's a lot of combustion of fossil fuels for electricity, power and supply. But through this work that we do in trying to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, today I'm actually back on home soil, but I'm back in a different context. And that context is actually being part of a mission as an employee of the Danish Energy Agency, where I work as an advisor. And the core of what we do at the agency is sharing the experience of the journey that Denmark has taken in the energy transition with 19 partner countries around the globe. And part of those countries is South Africa. And like I said, I'm so happy that I have seen and heard through the speeches that you students gave today that I know we're headed in the right direction, right? Would you agree with that, learners? Ah, lovely. Okay, so in my education in Denmark, I also noticed that gender challenges faced in the STEM sector here in our country are not exclusive to South Africa. They actually exist in many parts of the globe. So it is actually my aspiration to encourage young girls and women to never shy away from STEM sectors. So I was actually overjoyed to learn, Mr. Program Director, that in this program, there were actually 50% participants that were female. So I think that in its own deserves a moment of silence, right? But because of time, we will not have that moment. Okay, so to both the young men and the women in this room today, I would like to encourage you to never stop dreaming. But what you must remember is that a dream without a plan is just a wish. Today, you have shown leadership by taking a step to protect the climate and by definition, the globe that we live in. Warren Buffett once said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. So what you have done today is actual planting of impactful seeds that are yet to be seen for many years to come. Today, I see entrepreneurs, business owners, product developers, solution seekers, and above all, impactors. You guys are actual impactors. And there's a statement that says, if I have seen, it was actually by Isaac Newton, that says, if I have seen further, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. And this metaphor is used to encourage, right? And is used to encourage using understanding gained by major thinkers who have gone before you and actually using this intellectual capacity to make progress in your sectors that you've chosen today. In my journey, I also learned that when you think big, it is inevitable that you will be faced by challenges. Challenges will come, but it is important to remember to stay committed. Commit to your goal, commit to your ambition, and if you go a step further and add consistency, I can almost guarantee you that failure will only be a learning curve for you. It will never keep you down. And what makes the work we do impactful as the different people in this room, working towards the different sectors that we all are addressing the various SDGs, and I love that there's a backdrop with all of them. So we're all by definition included in the SDGs today, is that at the core of everything is people. People create change. Systems make it possible, but people make it happen. So the world needs your ingenuity and your ambition to achieve success in meeting these various SDGs. And of course, your youthfulness too, right? That's one thing you have in the bag that a lot of us here today do not. So hold on to that. And expand your horizon, look beyond your borders. Look beyond your borders on how you can make your impact global, and continue to move the boundaries. So I look forward to reading about you on different social media platforms and to hearing about the waves you will make beyond today. And before I close, I know today is about you, Bright Stars, but I thought it would be lovely for us to actually take a moment to thank the different organizations that have made this day possible, both for you and everybody else in this room, including the Danish Embassy, the UNDP, UNICEF, FEMSTEM, and all the other staff members that worked tirelessly to make this day happen. So learners, will you help me in thanking these organizations by standing up and screaming aloud, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. So shall we say thank you in 3, 2, 1? Thank you. Yay, thank you for that. So I will leave you with this statement, learners. To whom much is given, much is expected.
Thank you so much for the inspirational words, Ms. Amanda Ngwenya. We really appreciate it. And I know I was rushing you, but we really got the message. The next item here would be the vote of thanks. And I'm going to be calling upon Mr. Annele Davids to come and take us through this item.
Good afternoon, thank you. What an auspicious event. Imagine a world where these guys would be in authority. Short speeches, greener parks, cleaner water, more time to socialize. Yeah? That's the world we're waiting to retire to. Colleagues, on behalf of Sci-Bono, board, management, staff, our learners, and their facilitators or instructors, their parents, and school, thank you. Thank you for providing our youth the opportunity to grapple with current and future climate issues affecting not only South Africa, but the world at large. We know our youth have had the most challenging times due to the pandemic. We therefore take our hats off for their commitment during these trying times. Program Director, thank you for a marvelous job. A special thanks goes to the Embassy of Denmark, represented by His Excellency Tobias Reffel, for supporting the program. We appreciate it a lot. The UNDP, represented by Dr. Ayadele Odusola. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your support. Dr. Goulding, if she's present, we also want to, thank you for your support and your team. All this would not have been possible without this particular partnership. Also, thanks goes to FEMSTEM and UNICEF for their roles in the project. I will just list some of the people we would like to name to thank. Dr. Janice Golding, Dr. Vibeke Reffeld, if she's around. I only know Skol in Danish and drinking the beer. Miss Christine Muhigana, thank you for your support, ma'am. Dr. Tulile Kumalo, Miss Maso Ndongosi, if she's around. Mr. Isaac Ramofa. Sir, we hope we're going to be in contact with you. You're a big friend of ours, DSI. Once again, our deepest appreciation, colleagues, parents. We cannot afford to stop. We hope to take this forward in the coming years. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Anele, for the word of appreciation and vote of thanks. We're just about to close our program. The next item from now onward will be to be going out to get some refreshments. And I'm sure, Akesh, you want to say something about the refreshments?
Thanks, Simon. I just want to thank everybody for coming today as well. As part of this program, there's a science tour that is planned on our exhibition floor. We're also going to be visiting our 4IR exhibition, which is absolutely amazing. We'd love for you guys to experience that as well. So if you are interested in participating in that, we'll have some facilitators outside dressed in orange, and we'll take you through in groups of about 10 through the center. Okay, but you can enjoy the refreshments in the meantime. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, we've just got one more request for the award winners and speakers to remain. I just want to take some photographs with you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Request that we go minutes and speakers to the ready. Just gonna take some photographs. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Meeting.